the sun, the earth, the vibration. If you found this place, you were meant to be here. This is the High Guy. Morning light, wake up with a grin. Another good day, let the good vibes in. Grass so green and the sky so blue. Every little blessing got a different view. I don't chase gold, I don't chase fame. I'd rather know every one of your names. Round the fire where the stories grow. Everybody's welcome, everybody knows. Life gets heavy, life gets rough. Sometimes this world can feel too much. That's when we breathe, that's when we smile, that's when we slow it down a while. No kings, no throne, no one's above. We're just people trying to spread more love. Hands up, feel that bass, smile on every single face. No fear, no lies, put your worries in the sky. Oh, love it high, guys, light up the sky. Good vibes only till the day we die. Oh, come sing along. One big family getting lifted by the song. TheHighGuy, TheHighGuy, everybody bounce. TheHighGuy, everything just like it. Every mushroom got a lesson inside. Every mountain got a different side. Every sunset paints another dream. Nothing really ever what it seems. Mind opens wider than the Milky Way. Finding little miracles every day. See the colors dancing in the trees. Hear the music floating on the breeze. Take a walk, touch the ground. Listen close, life got a sound. Not escaping, just seeing clear. Finding joy while we're already here. I'm the high guy, light up the sky. Good vibes only till the day we die. Whoa, raise them high. Everybody living with an open mind. TheHighGuy, TheHighGuy, one big try. TheHighGuy, feel alive. People say the world's going crazy. Maybe that's why we're moving so lazy. Screens got everybody looking down. We're over here lifting up the whole town. Bring your neighbor, bring your friend. Good vibrations never gotta end. Different stories, different names. Every soul got different flames. Here nobody's left behind. Everybody eats, everybody shines. If you're hurting, pull up a chair. There's enough good energy to share. Higher, higher, higher. Can you feel the vibration? One heartbeat, one nation, one tribe, one destination. We don't panic when tomorrow calls. We build each other, that's how nobody falls. Plant a seed and watch it grow. That's the only way we know. Dance in the rain, laugh in the storm. Keep each other safe and warm. Every sunrise, every breath, living fully till our final step. When the music fills the night, everything gonna be alright. Whoa. I'm the high guy, light up the sky. Good vibes only till the day we die. Oh, come inside. Everybody's family by my side. TheHighGuy, raise them high. TheHighGuy, touch the sky. TheHighGuy, one love forever. TheHighGuy, now and forever. If you're hearing this, you're already fired. Take care of the earth. Take care of each other. Smile more. Laugh louder. Live free. And remember, the vibe is stronger when we rise together. I'm the high guy, and I'll see you around the fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, the High Guy Jacobs. And this evening, we're diving back into Genesis. It's been a couple of weeks. I'll be entirely honest, the first 19 chapters were a slog, a read, and at the end of the day, left us with more questions than answers. One of those questions is, how does a Christian... Let me rephrase. Is it just me, or does the Bible support incest? I don't know how else to claim this, except for the fact that we left Genesis 19 with the story of Lot impregnating both of his children as they get him drunk and take advantage of him and bear sons. Now, it seems to me quite obvious that this is a weird thing to follow, but again, that's just my own personal inclination. And again, maybe there's something that I'm not seeing. So we will continue our read through Genesis 20 today. And we'll see how far we get before we get overwhelmed with what we find. Now, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and dive right in. Genesis 20. Hello, 420 every day, all day. How are you doing? Welcome to stream. Welcome to stream. This will be a little bit different than what you're normally used to, I'm sure. As I said, we are going through theology this evening, and we will be reading the Bible. Yeah, Stormy, it does. It makes me feel a little awkward. Just because, as I've mentioned, there's some interesting things, and I've always said, if you want to understand the Bible, you're supposed to read it. So as I'm reading it, well, I'm understanding some things about it. But with that being said, let's dive into Genesis chapter 20, verse 1. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech king of Gerar sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. But Abimelech had not come near her, and he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? But he not unto me, She is my sister. No, said he not unto me, She is my sister? And she, even she herself, said, He is my brother? In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. And God said unto him into a dream, Yea, I know that thou did this in the integrity of thy heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. Now, therefore, restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. So time out here. Hold on. Samuel Perez, hold on. I don't believe in the Bible. I don't believe in the religion. The reason I'm reading this is to try to understand why people believe in it and what they're actually believing in. So again, it's not that the Bible is fake, it's that the information inside is fake. And so this just becomes a question of what's actually inside the Bible. And again, here we've seen, I thought that the religion was all based around being honest and being truthful and being good, and instead, Abraham, the prophet, had to lie to Abimelech, the king of Gerar, him and his wife both, and he just took her. The king just took her. So this is a situation where women have no rights. They're just taken. They're just taken and made his wife, which is rape. It's not consensual. You don't take someone for consensual sex. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's a weird scenario. We got through 19 chapters before. Here we are into 20, and already into 20, it has weird feelings. Why is he sending a prophet knowing that he'll lie and then threatening this guy saying, if you don't return her, I will kill you and all of your kind. But it was I who basically stopped you from sinning against me. So it's just It's weird. Anyways, here we go. Continuing. Therefore, Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all of his servants and told all these things in their ears, and the men were sore afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us, and what have I offended thee? That thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin. Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou, that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet, indeed, she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And it came to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness which thou shalt sow unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say as of me, he is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and manservants and womenservants, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him Sarah his wife. And Abimelech said, Behold, my land is before thee, dwell where it pleaseth thee. And unto Sarah he said, Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to thee a covering of the eyes unto all of that are with thee, and with all other. Thus she has reproved. So Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Abimelech and his wife and his maidservants, and they bare children. So basically, Abraham lied to the guy because he basically said, well, you don't believe in God. You don't have the fear of God, so you're just going to slay me for my wife's sake. So he had to lie to you so that God would intervene, so that you would meet God and have this experience. And then he basically just gives him a whole bunch of stuff because God tells him to give him a whole bunch of stuff, or else he'll die. So again, it's a situation where it's like, don't believe in me because you want to. Believe in me because if you don't, I will kill you. Do you know what I mean? So it's really weird. Anyway, so Abraham prayed unto God. We already did that. For the Lord had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. And the Lord visited Sarah as she had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as God had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. And she said, who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah would have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age. And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. Oh. So Sarah then gets jealous of Hagar, who is Abraham's son, when Abraham laid with Sarah's woman servant when Sarah couldn't have kids. So basically what happened was Sarah couldn't have kids, so she told her husband, look, you can't have kids with me, have kids with this woman. Right? If you can't have kids with me, have kids with this woman. So she has a son with that woman. So he has a son with that woman. Right? Well, now she has her own son with Abraham, and she's basically like, now kick this woman out and her son, for they shall not be the heirs, even with Isaac. They shall not be even with Isaac. They are nothing. Basically saying, well, now that we got out of it, now we're good. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. So at least Abraham felt bad about it. Oh. Okay. Hold on. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman, in all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So basically God's saying, yeah, ditch that broad too. That woman and child, kick them. You don't need them. You've got Isaac. And also of the son of the bondwoman I will make a nation, because he is thy seed. So basically he's like, yeah, kick her out. I'll make him a leader too. Right? I'll make him a leader too. Kick him out. So that's fine. Okay, this is where it starts to get a little messed up. Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it onto her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs. And she went and sat her down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot, for she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept. So hold on, time out. So here, now she gets left out there, eats the food, drinks the water, chucks the baby, and says, don't let me see her die. Don't let me see him die. And then cried about it. And God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven, and said unto her, what aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the bottle with water, and gave the lad drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew, and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass at that time that Abimelech and Phicol, the chief captain of his host, spake unto Abraham, saying, God is with thee in all that thou doest. Now therefore swear unto me here by God that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me and to the land wherein thou hast sojourned. So basically, after all this, Abimelech comes back and says, God is with you in everything that you do. Now swear to me that you're going to be honest with me and my son and my son's son. But with all the niceness that I have done to you, you will be to me and the land where you have lived. That seems kind of weird. So he's basically saying, swear to me you're going to be good. I know you've got God, but swear to me you're going to be good. And Abraham says, I will swear. And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of the well of water, which Abimelech's servants had violently taken away. And Abimelech said, I wot not who hath done this thing, neither didst thou tell me, neither yet heard I of it, but today. And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them to Abimelech, and both of them made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, what mean these 7 ewe lambs which thou hast set by themselves? And he said, for these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be witness unto me that I have digged this well. Wherefore he called that place Beersheba, because where they swore both of them. Because there they swear both of them. For these 7 ewe lambs shall take of my hand, that they may be a witness unto me that I have digged this well. Thus they made a covenant to Bathsheba, then Pishol, the chief captain of his host, and they returned to the land of the Philistines. And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba and called there on the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. Hold on. Okay. Oh, hold on. I'm just trying to understand because, of course, this is really written weird. I will swear. And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of a well of water which Abimelech's servants had violently taken away. And Abimelech said, I wot not who hath done this thing, neither did thou tell me, neither yet heard of it I, but today. So Abraham said, I'll swear. But then he's like, but hold on, you took a thing of water, well water away from me. And Abimelech says, it was not I who did this, and I didn't know about it until today. And then Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them back. So he took some sheep and ox, gave them back, and they both made a covenant. So an agreement, I guess, an agreement for the well. Yeah, this is the King James. This is King James. The reason I chose King James, just to be clear, the reason I chose King James is just because it's the most, like when you talk to people about the Bible, which ones they've read or which one they refer to, it's almost always King James. It's like the most referred to Bible, whether that's one that people read or not. So that's why I chose to read it. Now I've heard people say it's one of the worst. I've heard some people say it's one of the most, like it's one of the most interestingly written, but we're doing the King James specifically because, like I said, it's the most referenced out of. When you talk to people about the Bible, they'll talk about King James. Okay, so again, let's go back here where he called that place, took his sheep, gave it back, and then he took 7 lambs, put them by themselves. What means these 7 ewe lambs with the house set by themselves? And he said, for these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be a witness unto me that I have digged this well. So it's basically saying, I'm giving you these, or you can, do what you want with them. And they may be witness unto me that I have dug this well. So that basically saying this well is mine. It's Old English, but there are easier ones that does the same meaning. Yeah, that's kind of what I heard. But I also have to be careful about which ones I can read online. Because, like, I was reading originally the New International Version, but the New International Version I can't actually read because it's copyrighted. Whereas the King James is old enough that I can actually read it. There's no problems for copyright issues. Okay, so where were we? Going back. So he basically says, I'm going to set these a hand. For these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be witness unto me that I have digged this well. So he's basically saying, you take these 7 as proof that I dug this well. Wherefore he called that place Beersheba, because there they swore both of them. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. Then Abimelech rose up, and Phicol the chief captain of his host, and they returned into the land of the Philistines. And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba, and called there on the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham sojourned in the Philistines' land many days. So then he went to travel in the Philistines' lands. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains where I will tell thee of. Are you kidding me? So to test Abraham, he says, now take your son Isaac and go burn him at the stake atop one of the mountains which I'll tell you. And offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. So correct me if I'm wrong, that he's basically saying, now take thy son, thine only son Isaac, well, he also have a son named Hagar, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. Okay, continuing. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up, and went unto the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand, and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he says, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they came to the place which God had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. Abraham was just about straight up to Gurkhas because it was to gank his son. Just straight up. Bound his son Isaac and laid him upon the altar upon the wood. And he was just about to kill his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes, and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket of his thorns. And Abraham went, and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. So basically, God's like, here, go kill your son on this mountain, go burn him. And Abraham's like, yep. And Abraham goes up there, he's about to kill him, and God goes, whoa, 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 I didn't think you were actually going to do it. Now I know you're scared of me. Shit, here's a fucking lamb. Here's a ram. Kill that and burn that instead. Like, number one, why the fuck do you need something to burn to you? Right? Why do you need something burnt to you? A burnt offering is just fucked up in the first place. And number two, the fact that you're just playing with this guy who you called a prophet, who you've been walking with and dealing with, and then you just felt it necessary to fucking put him through this trial? Like, you can't think that this guy's gonna be fucking, like, Abraham is gonna have some kind of feeling about that? Just the torment of spending 3 days planning to kill and burn his son, only for you to swing in the last minute and save him from it? What the? Oh my God. Oh my God. It's crazy to me. Continuing, and Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh. Jehovah Jireh. As it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast thou not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the sea shore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. So hold on a second. That to me sounds like all of that shit sounds like a whoopsie. Do you know what I mean? Basically, what happened was God's like, yo, Abraham, we've been working together, right? Abraham's like, yeah, we're like good friends. And God's like, so guess what? I'm going to test your resolve. I want you to go kill your son and burn him for me. And Abraham's like, fine, I guess. Spends 3 days prepping for this whole thing. Internal struggle, the internal, like I said, the internal struggle, the internal issues, everything that's going on inside in his own head where he has to go, oh my God, God has asked me to kill my only son. And I'm an old man. I'm never going to have another son. What are we talking about? And then right before he goes to kill him, God goes, whoa, wait. My bad. I didn't realize I had you so wrapped around my finger that you would give your only son to me. Now, because of that, because you've done that, to me, it feels like he's going, oh shit, whoops. Okay, I'm going to give you a bunch of shit as a way for me to say sorry. So God is apologizing to Abraham by just giving him a bunch of stuff. I'll bless you with multiplying, and I'll multiply your seed as the stars in the heavens, so that you'll have tons of kids, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thou seed shall possess the gate of the enemies. Like, to me, reading this, it sounds like he went, oh fuck, I made a mistake. I need to make amends for that mistake, which proves to me, and get this, God might have a moral compass. At least from this perspective, he's kind of going, oh shit, whoops, my bad, here's a bunch of shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that seems to be what it is to me. And if that's not the case, that's really how it's written. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. And then he just turns it around and basically says, well, because you loved me so much, because you believed in me so much, because you were about to kill your son for me, I'm going to do all this stuff for you. That is some gaslighting shit right there. Because you started the whole thing. You challenged him. You started the whole thing with something horrendous, asking a man to kill his son. Oh my God. Jesus. Literally. Not yet, but we'll see. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, behold, Milcah, she hath also borne children unto thy brother Nahor. Huz, his firstborn, and Buz, his brother, or Huz and Buz, and Camuel, the father of Aram, and Chesed, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Jidlath, and Bethuel begot Rebekah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother. All right, so there's going to be a bunch of what's going to be happening next with his kids. This is just going to be stuff with his kids. And it came to pass after these things. Okay, so, and Bethuel begat Rebekah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brothers. And his concubine, whose name was Ramah, she also bore Tabah and Gaam and Thahash and Makah. And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old, 127 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. Okay. Oh, and Sarah died in Kirjathabah. The same is Hebron in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abraham stood up from before his dead and spake unto the sons of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, my lord. Thou art a mighty prince among us. In a choice of our sepulchres, bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchre, but that thou mayest bury thy dead. And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Heth. And he communed with them, saying, If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of sight, hear me, and entreat for me to Ephron, the son of Zohar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he hath, which is in the end of his field. For as much money as it is worth, he shall give it me for a possession of a burying place amongst you. And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth, and Ephron and Hittite, answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, even of all that went in at the gate of the city, saying, Nay, my lord, hear me. The field give I thee, and the cave that is therein I give it thee. In the presence of thy sons, in the presence of the sons of my people give it I thee, bury thy dead. And Abraham bowed down before him, before the people of the land. So basically after that, Sarah dies, right? So all that time, Sarah dies. He's looking for a place to bury them. He basically goes to the area, and they're all like, oh yeah, we know of you. You're a prince among our people. You can bury her wherever they need. The rest is just, where can I bury her? And I want to bury her in this one tomb at the end of a field. Right? Okay, and Abraham bade down before the people of the land, and he spoke unto Ephraim in the audience of the people of the land, saying, But if thou wilt give it, I pray thee, hear me, I will give thee money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying unto him, My lord, hearken unto me, the land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that betwixt me and thee? Bury therefore thy dead. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he had named in the audience of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant. And the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field, and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the borders round there, were made sure. Unto Abraham for a possession in the were made sure unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Heth, before all that went in at the gate of his city. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah before Mamre. The same is Hebron in the land of Canaan. And the field and the cave that is therein made sure unto Abraham for a possession of a burying place by the sons of Heth. So all of this last blah, blah, blah is basically just finding a place for him to bury his wife. Abraham paid one of the sons, or Abraham paid Ephron 400 shekels for the burying place. And that's all this really is. It's just saying, yep, and this is kind of all the legal mumbo jumbo. Right? And after this, Abraham buried his wife in the cave of the field, the same as the name of the Canaan. And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for a possession of a burying place by the sons of Heth. And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his oldest servant of his house that ruled over all that he had, Put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh. And I will make thee swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. But thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. And the servant said unto him, Peradventure the woman will not be willing to follow me unto this land. Must I needs bring thy son again unto the land from whence thou camest? And Abraham said unto him, Beware thou that thou bringst not my son thither again. So he's basically saying, go find my wife a son, find my son a wife, right? Go find my son a wife, not of the daughters of the Canaanites, right? Not from the Canaanites, but go unto my country and to my kindred. Which is fucking weird. My kindred? Okay, interesting. Again, we were talking a little bit about incest. That's kind of what this brings in. This is kind of crazy. So, go into my country, to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. So basically, bring a woman back. And he's like, well, they're not going to want to come back with me. Can I bring your son with me? And he says, no. The Lord God of heaven, which took me from my father's house and from the land of my kindred, and which spake unto me, and that sware unto me, saying, unto thy seed I will give this land, he shall send his angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife unto my son from thence. And if the woman will not be willing to follow thee, then thou shalt be clear from this my oath. Only bring not my son thither again. And if the women will not follow you, so basically he's saying if the women won't follow you, I'm telling you, just don't bring my son. This is like, it's just so weird. It's just so odd to me. Like, how can you sit and say this is a religion we like to follow and a religion we want to say when it talks about some really messed up stuff? This is just where I'm a little bit curious, right? Anyways, let's continue. And the servant put his hand on the thigh of Abraham his master and sware to him concerning that matter. And the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his master and departed. For all the goods of his master were in his hand, and he arose and went to Mesopotamia unto the city of Nahor. And he made his camels to kneel down without the city by a well of water at the time of the evening, even the time that women go out to draw water. And he said, O Lord, God of my master Abraham, I pray thee, send me Godspeed this day, and show kindness unto my master Abraham. Behold, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw water. And let it come to pass that the damsel to whom I shall say, let down the pitcher, I pray thee that I may drink, and she shall say, drink, and I will give thy camels drink also. Let the same be she that thou hast appointed for thy servant Isaac, and thereby shall I know that thou hast shewed kindness unto my master. And it came to pass, before he had done speaking that, behold, Rebekah came out, who was born to Bethuel, son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, with her pitcher upon her shoulder. And the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin, neither had any man known her. And she went down to the well and filled her pitcher and came up. And the servant ran down to meet her and said, let me, I pray thee, drink a little water of thy pitcher. And she said, drink, my lord. And she hasted, and let down her pitcher upon her hand, and gave him drink. And when she had done giving him drink, she said, I will draw water for thy camels also, until they have done drinking. And she hasted, and emptied her pitcher into the trough, and ran again unto the well to draw water, and drew for all his camels. And the man, wandering at her, held his pace, to wit whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. And it came to pass, as the camels had done drinking, that the man took a golden earring of 1/2 shekel weight, and 2 bracelets for her hand of 10 shekels weight of gold, and said, whose daughter art thou? Tell me, I pray thee, is there room in thy father's house for us to lodge in? And she said unto him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, which she bare unto Nahor. She said moreover unto him, we have both straw and provender enough, and room to lodge in. And the man bowed his head and worshipped the Lord. And he said, blessed be the Lord God of my master Abraham, who hath not left destitute my master of his mercy and his truth. I being in the way, the Lord led me to the house of my master's brethren. And the damsel ran, and told them of their mother's house these things. And Rebekah had a brother, and his name was Laban. And Laban ran out unto the man unto the well. And it came to pass, when he saw the earring and bracelet upon his sister's hands, and when he heard the words of Rebekah his sister, saying, thus spake the man unto me, that he came unto the man, and behold, he stood by the camels at the well. And he said, come in, thou blessed of the Lord, wherest standest thou without? For I have prepared the house and room for the camels. And the men came into the house, and he ungirded his camels, and gave straw and provender for the camels, and water to wash his feet and the men's feet that were with him. And there was set meat before him to eat. But he said, I will not eat until I have told mine errand. And he said, speak on. Okay, so basically, let's just wrap this up. Not wrap this up, pardon me, but let's just kind of bring this together. So basically, he goes there with his goats, not his goats, his camels. Because remember, he's supposed to be finding a wife for Isaac. Okay? So he's supposed to be finding a wife for Isaac. So he goes to the watering well where all the women go at the end of the night to fill their water. And he basically says, look, if I'm going to find this woman, here's how I'm going to engage with her. And if she's the right one, God will make her respond this way. And I'll know that this is the one that I'm supposed to take. And lo and behold, a virgin girl comes down. She's got to be virgin. I mean, young. Let's be honest. Back at the time, virgins were like less than 12. 12 to 14, something like that. So she was obviously very young. And he basically gave her a bunch of shit and said, where are you living? Do you have room for me at your house? And she's like, yeah, come on in. You know what I mean? That's kind of weird. He's like, yeah, come on in. Let me just introduce you to the whole house. You've got this rich stuff, gold and stuff. So yeah, come on in. And then he's there. And before he gets to eat, he's like, hold on. Before I eat, I have to ask you something. And they're like, okay, go ahead. And he said, I am Abraham's servant. And the Lord has blessed my master greatly. And he has become great. And he hath given him flocks and herds and silver and gold and manservants and maidservants and camels and asses. And Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master when she was old, and unto him hath he given all that he hath. And my master made me swear, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife to my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell, but thou shalt go unto my father's house, and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son. And I said unto my master, Peradventure the woman will not follow me. And he said unto me, The Lord, therefore, whom I walk, will send his angels with thee, and prosper thy way, and thou shalt take a wife for my son of my kindred, and of my father's house. So he's basically just retelling the story. So here's what happened. Let me tell you what happened. I said this before. A lot of the Bible, the reason why it's like 1,000 pages is like half of it is just retelling and telling again what was said once before. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is now he has to do the whole thing. And she said to me, Both drink thou, and I will also draw for thy camels. Let the same by the woman whom the Lord hath appointed out to my master's son. And before I had done speaking in mine heart, behold, Rebekah came forth with her pitcher in my shoulder, and she went down unto the well and drew water. And I said unto her, Let me drink, I pray thee. And she made haste and let down her pitcher from her shoulder and said, Drink, and I will give thy camels drink also. So I drank, and she made the camels drink also. It's just retelling the exact same thing, which is so crazy to me. It's literally the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Like, this is why the Bible to me is such a difficult read, because it's just like so much additional stuff that doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, so much additional stuff. Hold on a second. Okay? So this is where we're looking at. Okay. And I bowed down my head and worshipped the Lord and blessed the Lord God of my master Abraham, which had led me in the right way to take my master's brother's daughter unto his son. And again, this is like, look, don't go to the Canaanites. Go to my own family. Go get a wife for my son from my bloodline. My master's brother's daughter. That's his cousin. That's his cousin. Go marry your cousin. What are we talking about? Right? This is just so weird for me. Okay, and now if ye will kindly deal kindly and truly with my master, tell me. If not, tell me that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, The thing proceedeth from the Lord. We cannot speak unto thee bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before thee. Take her and go and let her be thy master's son's wife, as the Lord hath spoken. And it came to pass that when Abraham's servant heard their words, he worshipped the Lord, bowing himself to the earth. And the servant brought forth jewels of silver, jewels of gold, and raiment, and gave them to Rebekah. He gave also to her brother and to her mother precious things. So basically, he goes, Look, this is what happened. God told me to come here. This is what happened. She followed exactly what God said she was going to follow. Now can I have her? And they're like, Yep. And he's like, cool, here's a bunch of shit. Gold and silver and raiment, whatever that is. And gave their brother and mother precious things. And they did eat and drink, he and the men that were with him, and tarried all night. And they rose up in the morning, and he said, send me away into my master. And her brother and her mother said, let the damsel abide with us a few days, at the least 10. After that she shall go. And he said unto them, hinder me not, seeing the Lord hath prospered my way, send me away, that I may go to my master. And they say, we will call the damsel, and inquire at her mouth. And they called Rebekah, and said unto her, wilt thou go with this man? And she said, I will go. And they sent away Rebekah their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servants, and his men. And they blessed Rebekah, and said unto her, thou art our sister, be thou the mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gate of those which hate them. And Rebekah rose, and her damsels, and they rode upon the camels, and followed the man. And the servant took Rebekah, and went his way. And Isaac came from the way of the well Lahoroi, for he dwelt in the south country. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and lo and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lifted off the camel. For she had said unto her servant, what man is that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into her mother Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. So basically, let's just wrap that. Let's just make that nice and clear. That just got real weird. So first off, at this point, Rebekah's a kid. Isaac took her into her mom's tent. They banged. And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. So let's make this clear. Abraham said to his servant, his most trusted servant, we got to go get my son a wife. So don't go to the Canaanites. Go to my family, right? My father's brother. So go to my cousins and find him a wife. And they found him a wife named Rebekah. And she was a virgin. And a virgin at that time is like 12 to 15 years old. Okay? Or younger. So basically, they take this kid back to Isaac. Now, I don't know how old Isaac is at the time. But he took Rebekah into the tent, makes love to her, and now he's feeling better. Like, no duh. I don't know about you, but if you ever want to feel good, no matter what position you're in, masturbation does that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I get that, but, like, that's odd. That's just odd. I mean, we could say that they're assumptions, but this is the fact of the matter at that time. In order for her to have been a virgin at that time, especially if she was as attractive as they say she was, she had to have been young, right? Because the average was like 12 to 15 when you got married off, right? So we could say they're assumptions, but this is the times, right? This is based on the times. So this is, again, very, very interesting. She became his wife, and he loved her. Sure. And then he felt better. Now, at this point, Abraham took another wife, and her name was Keturah. And she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua, and Jokshan, begat Sheba, and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Ashurahim, and Laturashim, and Lumim, and the sons of Midian were Evpath, and Epher, and Hanoch, and Abidah, and Eldah, and all their children of Keturah. And Abraham gave all of them, all that he had unto Isaac. But unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son, which he yet lived eastward, which he yet lived eastward unto the east country. Okay, wait a second. Let's say 15 like Mary when she had Jesus. That's fucked up. So now you're telling me that God impregnated a 15-year-old? It's weird. It's just weird. Right? That's just weird. So he took a wife. Her name was Keturah, or however you want to pronounce it. But unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had. So basically, hold on. Let me just rephrase. So his wife dies. He gets another wife. She gives him a whole bunch of kids. But he gives everything he had to Isaac and all these other kids. He just gives them gifts and then sends them away. And he lived 100, 15 years. I'm not sure what 60 is. I think a score is what, 20 years? 20, 40, 60, 75, 175 years. Right? And these are the days, the years of Abraham's life which he lived. 103 years. And I don't know what a score is. I don't know what a score is in regards to that. So I'm not sure exactly how old he was. Anyway, then Abraham gave up the ghost and died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. And his son Isaac and Ishmael buried his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah in the field of Ephron the son of Zohar the Hittite, which is before Mamre. The field which Abraham purchased of the sons of Heth, there was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt by the well Lahairoi. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, who Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nebajoh, and Kedar, and Abdil, and Mibsam, and Mishma, and Dumah, and Massa, Hadar, and Tema, Jatur, Nephish, and Kadamah. Yeah, I figured it was 175 years when he died. So I guessed right. A score is what, 20 years? Okay, these are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names, by their towns, by their castles, 12 princes according to their nations. And these are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years, and he gave up the ghost and died and was gathered unto his people. And they dwelt from Havilah unto Shur, that is before Egypt, at thou goest towards Assyria. And he died in the presence of all of his brethren. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife. What? He was 40? Let's say she was 15. Yes, Samuel. Let's say she was 15. He was 40. Hey, what's up, Ryan? How you doing, buddy? What is up, Ryan? How are you doing, buddy? I gotta fix this chat. Hold on a second. I want to make this a little bit bigger so that we can actually see what's happening. Let's get some more chat so it's not so... Hold on a stitch. I'm just going to fix this chat box. There we go. Fix the chat box. There we go. Fix the chat box. What's in the box? Okay, let's say like 15. Those return later on most of the times. Hey, what's up, Ryan? They made me come to work to tell me they aren't going to need me till midnight. Oh my God, what an annoyance, Ryan. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I just realized that a 40-year-old took a wife who was at least 15. Who was at most 15. He was 40. She was 15. Come on, bro. Come on. And it was his cousin. What? What? No, this is the Christian Bible. Ryan, this is the Christian Bible. This is Genesis chapter 25 in the King James Bible. I am reading the King James Bible. And this is talking about Abraham's son Isaac at the age of 40 taking a wife, Rebekah. What are we talking about? Jesus. Okay, let's continue. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, "If it be so, why am I thus?" And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. What the fuck? Why is it so hard, God? Oh, it's because you got twins. And they're going to be totally different people. Right? One's going to be stronger than the other, and the elder, the oldest one, is going to serve the younger one. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So basically, Isaac was 60. She would have been at most 35 when she had her twins. Right? At most 35, but he was 60. You see what I'm saying? This is weird. It's just weird to me. Ryan, why are we doing this shit? I'll be honest with you. The reason is, Ryan, I started doing these tackling theology streams. I started doing these reading the Bible, trying to understand religion, for the simple fact that I want to understand why people believe the things that they do and why people believe, why people want to believe these things. And if I can read this and develop some really good ways, then I can have ways to help people turn away from this. Because I honestly think that religion is probably one of the most dangerous things that humans have ever created. And that's arguably what we're seeing here. So it's literally just about understanding why 33 or 36 or 40% or 30% of the population in the world believes this stuff. And it starts with understanding the source materials. Now, I've spent some time reading the Bible before. I was raised in a very religious home. But I never read the Bible entirely because it was always so rough to read. So I'm starting to do this whole thing, not only so we can understand it together, but by the end of it, we can take a look at the whole Bible and say, yeah, so I've read it, I understand it. Now I'm much more versed when it comes to talking to other people about it. Right? Because it's, like I said, it's a big thing in my family, so I'd like to know why they believe in it. Right? So it's a situation that I want to say, I want to know why they believe these things, what about them they believe, and then ask them if they really truly believe or if they just like the good stuff. They don't like the stuff that we're talking about here. And for the most part, I believe that most Christians haven't even read the Bible, because once you read it, you see some of this weird stuff and then you have to justify it. Like, I couldn't justify a 40-year-old taking a 15-year-old wife. I couldn't justify that. Right? But you now have to justify that as a Christian. You see what I'm saying? So it becomes an understanding, so I know what's happening. And it just gives me a chance to just kind of deep dive into the thought processes of humans, which is really what I want to do, right? I want to understand why people think the things that they do. And I want to be able to get into conversations with people, and religion is just a big topic. So that's kind of what we're doing this. I totally understand if you don't want to hang around with it, though, Ryan. I appreciate that. Like I said, we're only doing this for a couple of hours every evening. We still have our daytime stream. This is just in the evening. We're just doing this in the evening just to kind of give us a bit of, just to kind of give us an understanding. And this is the thing, Ryan. I plan to read the Quran as well. I plan to read to read the Torah. I'd like to tackle a lot of theology so I can understand a lot of these different premises about, the bases of these religions. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. I just want to understand people better, and this is just a really good way to understand people better. Because a lot of people believe these things. Whether it's right or not, a lot of people believe it. But yeah, like I said, if you don't want to be here, I appreciate you 100%. You don't have to be here for these evening ones. Join us during the day when we're hanging out, gaming, and just vibing. But these evening ones are a little bit more heavy just because, like I said, I want to be able to kind of bring in a little bit more of this conscious thought, like actual detailed thought. And at the end of the day, this gives people a chance to ask questions as we're reading through it, or start to, to maybe bring a different perspective into it as I'm reading it, or all this kind of stuff. To kind of bring a conversation to it. So that's really what it's all about. But again, don't think like you have to stick around. I appreciate you nonetheless. I know that you like what we do here. If you don't like this part, don't think that I'm gonna feel bad about you going to watch something else, because again, it's the Bible. let's not beat around the bush. It is the Bible. Okay, so let's continue on here. So at first came out all red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was threescore years old when she bare him, so he was 60. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob, and Jacob sawed pottage. And Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint." Therefore his name was called Edom. And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright." And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me?" And Jacob said, "Swear to me this day." And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. Wait, Esau. Okay, pronounced Esau. I appreciate that. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me get this straight. So basically, God says, two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So you're made to think at this point that the younger will be stronger than the other, as the elder will be serving the younger. But as it turns out, Esau is the hunter. He's the better, stronger one. And Jacob is just a regular dude that lives in his tent, basically living in mom's basement. And dad loved Esau, but Rebekah, mom, loved Jacob. And Jacob cooked, Esau came from the field. He was faint. He said to him, "Feed me, I pray you, for I am faint." Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, "Sell me today your birthright." Basically saying, you were born first, so you get everything. I get nothing because I was born second. So sell me your birthright. Give me the right to have everything when mom and dad die or whatever. Your birthright. Give it to me. And Jacob says, and then Esau said, "Behold, I'm at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me?" He's basically saying, I'm going to die. If I don't eat, I'm going to die. So yes, you can have your birthright. You can have my birthright. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. But Esau despised his birthright, so he basically gave it up for food. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. So Jacob's getting by just being a piece of shit. Do you know what I mean? He's getting this from being a piece of shit. He didn't need to sell me this day thy birthright. Jealous prick. The entire thing. Jacob's a jealous prick. Jesus. Literally. Not yet. We'll get to there. And there was a famine in the land beside the first famine that was in the day beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, "Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws." Okay. So basically, he's about to go. There's a big famine. Isaac was going into Egypt to go talk to Abimelech, king of the Philistines. And God's like, "Yeah, don't go there. Go where I tell you, and I will bless you and give you a bunch of stuff because Abraham obeyed my voice, kept my charge, my commandments, statutes, and my laws, and damn near killed you." Right? You see what I'm saying? Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandment, my statutes, and my laws. Basically, because Abraham did everything that I said, I'm going to make sure that you guys are okay. So Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, "She is my sister," for he feared to say, "She is my wife. Lest," said he, "the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon." So again, the same thing. Okay, so now it's the exact same thing. "Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I tell of thee." It's because and Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, "She is my sister," for he feared to say, "She is my wife," lest, said he, "the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon." The exact same thing happened with Abraham and Sarah. Just putting it out there. The exact same thing happened with Abraham and Sarah. They lied to the king so that they didn't kill him, because they basically said, "Look, if I say she's my wife, they'll kill me and take her. If I say she's my brother, they'll just take her and I'll be alive." And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, "Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And how sayest thou? And how saidst thou, She is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, What is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lain with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He hath he that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. So basically, he went to this other guy. I was a little mistaken. This guy here, the Abimelech, king of the Philistines, was not in Egypt, but he basically said, don't go into Egypt. Stay here, and I will make things better for you. So he did that. And the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great. And he had possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and great stores of servants. And the Philistines envied him. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. So basically they got really jealous of the guy because Isaac was blessed by the Lord. He got a bunch of stuff. And then Abimelech came to Isaac and said, go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. So basically he says, head out of here because you're stronger than we are and we're scared. So Isaac left. And he pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his fathers had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found them a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they had strove with him. And they digged another well and strove for that also. And he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence and digged another well. And for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, for now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to Beersheba. And the Lord appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant's Abraham's sake. And he builded an altar there, and he called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servants digged a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzath, one of his friends, and Pichol, and Phicol, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, we saw certainly that the Lord was with thee, and we said, let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou will do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of the Lord. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. So basically, let me get this straight. Basically, they kicked Isaac out because they got scared of him. Then they sent some guys over to be like, hey, so we were really good to you, and we're scared of the Lord, so can you promise not to hurt us? That's really what it is. Can we agree that you're not going to hurt us because we haven't hurt you and we've been good to you and we did everything that was right and we're scared of the God? What are we talking about? They're not being nice to you for their own sake. They're being nice because they're scared of the retribution. Huh. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. And they rose up betimes in the morning and sware one to another, and Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, we have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took wife Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, the Bashemath, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. Wait a second. He took 2 wives. Esau was 40 years old. He took to wife Judith and Bashemath. So he took 2 wives. Those well names have meanings. But then he took 2 wives. At 40-year-old, he took 2 wives. Again, let's assume best case 15 years old. He raped 2 15-year-old kids. Which were a grief of mind unto Isaac and to Rebekah. They both look at him and going, what are you doing? You have 2 wives? What do I mean I sound like them? I sound like who? I sound like who? I sound like who? Because this is just what it is. Like, this is just weird. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau, his oldest son, and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here I am. And he said, behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spoke unto Jacob her son, saying, behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee, Lord, before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, according to that which I command thee. Now go to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make some savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, and he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. So basically, hold on. Now we got some shit going on. Because, of course, Rebekah is way younger. We already know this. She's way younger. She knows that Isaac's about to die just because she heard Isaac talking to Esau, who is Isaac's favorite, saying, go hunt for me venison so that I may bless you before my death. Rebekah heard this and is basically telling her son Jacob, who is the piece of shit, hey, go get 2 lambs and sit in your brother's place. Because your dad can't see. He's blind. He'll never know. And he said, but Mom, Esau is a hairy man and I'm smooth. He'll know and he'll curse me. And she says, upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice and go fetch me them. Basically saying, I'll take care of that. So now she is deceiving. She is actively in the aspect of deceiving her husband. And these are the icons we should be looking up to in the Christian faith? Like, this to me is just so freaking weird. So weird. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hands of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according to thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my son, my very son Esau, or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and he said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac has made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out of the presence of Isaac, his father, that Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn son Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison, and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, he shall be blessed. So let me get this straight. Hold on, time out. Hold on, time out. So they trick him. And according to this, they trick him. They absolutely trick him. And not only that, they lied about God to do it. Can you, what are we even dealing with? They lied about God to do it. He said God sent it. How have you come back with it so early? Oh, God brought it to me. Your Lord brought it to me. And they believed him. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of the heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, her eldest son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice. Arise, flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days until thy brother's fury turn away. Until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such of these are which are the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me? And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padanaram, to the house of Bethuel thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban thy mother's brother. And God Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people. And give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee, and thy seed with thee, and thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which God gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Paddan Aram unto Laban, son of Bethuel the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob and Esau's mother. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Paddan Aram, to take him a wife from thence, and that he was blessed when he gave him a charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan, and that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and had gone to Paddan Aram. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau into Ishmael, and took unto the wives which he had Mahaleth, the daughters of Ishmael's Abraham's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife. And Jacob went out from Beersheba, and went towards Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place, and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it, and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac, the land wherein thou liest. For thee I will give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be the dust of the earth, shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. And Jacob awakened from his sleep, and he said, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid, and said, How dreadful is this place! This is none other but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning, and took that stone which he had put for his pillows, and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, and the name of that city he called Luz at the first, Luz. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, If God will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Lord be my God. At this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be God's house, and of all that thou shalt give me I will surely give the 10th unto thee. Then Jacob went on his journey, and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out by that well there watered their flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And he said, Of Haram are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well, and behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, is it yet high day? Neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot, until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from well's mouth, and then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was his father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son, and she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob his mistress' son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house, and he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space for a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldst thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her to thee, than I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. Oh my fucking God! Literally! Jacob loved Rachel. So Laban gathered together all the men of his place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him. And then he had sex with her. And then Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah, his maid, for a handmaid. And when it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah, he said to Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me? Did I not serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore hast thou beguiled me? And Laban said, It must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee also for the service which thou hast served me yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet another 7 years. So basically, the guy's like, look, Jacob is like, look, we're family. I want to marry Rachel. I love Rachel. This is the girl that I want. But I don't have anything to buy her from you, so I'll work with you for 7 years. And he's like, sure. And on the night of the 7 years, he tricks her and gives her the older daughter, the one that he doesn't want. And he wakes up and he's like, why did you do that? And he says, we don't ever give. He's like, haha, you fool. We don't ever in our country give the younger before the firstborn. But fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. So basically he's like, stay with her for a week, and then we'll give you Rachel. But you got to work another 7 years. What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week. And he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, because the Lord hath heard I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also. And she called his son Simeon. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore we will call him Levi. And she conceived again, and bare a son. And she said, now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah. and left bearing. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in God's stead, who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? And she said, Behold my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear unto my knee upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan. Dan. Hold on. Hold on. They got all these fucking weird ass names. They got Simeon, Levi, Bilhah, like Judah. She named her son Dan. And just named him Dan. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so now he's got 3 wives. He's now, because I guess marriage is when you rape someone, right? Like when you have sex with them, right? So now Jacob is married to Leah and Rachel, sisters, and Bilhah, who is Rachel's handmaid. They named him Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, With great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah her maid and gave her Jacob to wife. Wait, just hold on. That's just like a competition between sisters. This is the funniest thing. These 2 sisters are just petty. But wait, no, he loves me more. No, he loves me more. I gotta have a kid. I can't have kids, so sleep with my handmaid. What the fuck? Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. This is so funny. This is so funny. Okay, so where were we? And Leah said, A troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went into the days of wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, for thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldst thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. Basically, so get this. So hold on. So Reuben went out, and I don't know who Reuben is. I don't know where Reuben comes from. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field and brought them into his mother Leah. Wait, where did Leah have Reuben? Oh, here. She called him Reuben. So Reuben goes out and gets some mandrakes. Rachel says, I want those mandrakes. And then she turns around and says, you've taken my husband. You want to take my son's mandrakes also? So Rachel said, therefore, okay, fine. You can sleep with my husband as long as you give me those mandrakes. And that night, she gets pregnant with another son. And Leah said, God had given me my hire because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the sixth son. And Leah said, God hath endowed me with a good dowry, endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And afterward she bore a daughter, and she called her Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her and opened her womb. And she conceived and bare a son, and said, God hath taken away my reproach. And she called his son Joseph, and said, the Lord shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away, that I may go unto my own place and to my own country. Send me away, that I may go unto mine own place and to my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go. For thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. And he said unto him, thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. For it was little which thou hast before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude, and the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. For now when shall I provide for mine own house also? And he said, what shall I give thee? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from hence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face. Every one that that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And he removed that day that the goats that were ring-straked and spotted, and all the she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hands of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. Yeah, Reuben is the son. I figured it out. And he set the rods which he had piled before the flocks in the gutters. Hold on. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and piled white stakes and pilled white strakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had piled before the flocks in the gutters and the watering troughs when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they come to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle ring-straked, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks towards the ring-straked, and all the brown in the flock of Laban, and he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the strongers Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had such cattle, and maidservants, and menservants, and camels, and asses. And he heard the word of Laban's son, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which our father's hath he gotten all his glory. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. And the Lord said unto Jacob, Return unto the land of thy fathers, and unto thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that is not towards me as before, but the God of my father hath been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father, and your father has deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times. But God suffered him not to hurt me. If he had said thus, the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bears speckled. And if he said thus, the ring-straked shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ring-straked. Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father, and given them to me. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes and said in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring-straked, speckled, and grizzled. And the angel of God spoke unto him in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here am I. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes and see, all the rams which leapt upon the cattle are ring-straked, speckled, and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. I am the God of Bethel, who thou anointest the pillar. And where thou vowedst a vow unto me, now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he hath sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do. When Jacob rose up, he set his sons and his wives upon camels. And he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Paddan Aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel hath stolen the image that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told them not that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face towards the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the 3rd day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him and pursued him 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And God came to Laban the Syrian in the dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the Mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword? Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and did not tell me, that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, and tabret, and with harp? And hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast done foolish in doing so. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt, but the God of your father spoke unto me yesternight, saying, Take thee heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And now, though thou wouldst needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Peradventure thou wouldst take by force thy daughters from me. With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live. Before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the 2 maidservants' tent, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images, and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord, that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of woman is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images. And Jacob was wroth, and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, What is my trespass? What is my sin, that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. That which has torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was in the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Thus I have been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac, had been with me, surely thou hast sent me away now empty. God hath seen my affliction, and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, and unto their children, which they have borne? Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, I and thou, and let it be here for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, Gather stones. And they took stones, and made a heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Jagor-Suhadaheth, but Jacob called it Gilead. And Laban said, This heap is a witness before me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Gilead. And Mizpah, for he said, The Lord watch between me and thee, when we were absent from one another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives besides my daughters, no man is with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee. And Laban said to Jacob, Behold this heap, and behold this pillar which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The God of Abraham, and the God of Nahor, and the God of their fathers, judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac. Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread, and they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning Laban rose up, kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed and returned unto his place. And that is where we're going to wrap it up for this week. Wowza. Another 11 chapters into Genesis. Another 11 chapters into Genesis. And again, this is just some crazy shit that we've come across, man. This is just some crazy shit that we've come across. So we've got incest. We've got a lot of like 40-year-olds with 15-year-olds. We've got a lot of pettiness, a lot of lying and manipulation. And God seems to be all good with it. Either that or he just doesn't have the ability to actually do anything about it. So like this is really weird. But that's going to wrap it up for this evening. So I hope you guys have had fun. If you have, don't forget to hit that like button. This whole evening stream is a huge new change to what we're doing, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. Samuel, thanks a lot for joining us this evening and running us through a lot of kind of stuff and keeping us focused. Because as we continue through here, it's a lot to digest. And I'm hoping that I'm doing a good job kind of breaking stuff down and breaking down the stories as we go through them. And again, if you like what we're doing, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, fill the notification bell, share this with your friends. Let's get rocking and rolling. But with all that being said, I'll be back again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time for some gaming, some vibing, and hanging out. And then we'll be back again in the evening to continue on this journey through theology. But with all that being said, love, peace, chicken grease, and until next time, stay lifted.
Started with a spark in the middle of the night. Now the whole crew glowing in a neon light. Different walks of life, but we all found a lane. Roll through the highs, laugh through through the pain. No ego in the chat, just respect them vibes. Everybody welcome when the smoke cloud rise. Win or lose, we're still one team, building something bigger than it ever could seem. Hands up if you came for the energy. Stay because the family feels like destiny. No matter where you're from, you're home tonight. One community, one flame, one light. Get lifted higher than the skyline. Good vibes only, every single timeline. Raise your cups, raise your voices, let it fly. With the people keeping hope alive. Get lifted, never coming down. Positive energy shaking up the town. When the high guy calls, everybody rise. We're more than a stream, this is where we thrive. Electric tea don't slide like a this is where we thrive. Late night sessions, memes on repeat. Every new follower gets love when they speak. We're making memories, one laugh at a time, turning ordinary moments into something divine. Controllers clicking, music in the air. No one standing alone when the squad is here. Dream a little bigger, let your worries fade. This is the home that the community made. Light another dream, let the doubts all fade. Every single moment is a memory made. Side by side until the credits roll. Different hearts but a single soul. Get lifted higher every day, spreading good vibes in our own crazy way. If you're looking for a place where you belong, welcome home, come sing along. Get lifted one more time tonight. Smoke in the air and the future feels bright. This isn't just a name,